After months of training, and to be brutally honest, not all of it went exactly to plan, it's now time to take on my biggest challenge to date, the KAT100 Marathon Trail. Join along in this race report where you'll see beautiful alpine views and the struggles of a slightly underprepared Duncan tried to take on this course. Let's see if my training has paid off and to see how I did in this race. I've just made it to Fieberbrunn, and as you can see the weather is a bit hit and miss, but let's see. But tomorrow I'm taking part in potentially one of my biggest races ever. I'm doing the marathon trail as part of the KAT100. Not distance-wise the biggest trail I've ever done, but it will be with the highest elevation meters ever. But now I'm just going to prepare my pack and get ready for the race tomorrow. Day before the race, I'm just going through all my mandatory kit. You've got it all laid out on the bed here just to make sure I haven't missed anything, because I don't want to go collect my bourbon and they tell me that I've missed something. So you can see here I've got my vest with the 2 flasks, first aid kit, got my rain jacket and gloves just in case. Obviously the gear I'll be running in tomorrow, poles, sunglasses and headphones that will get me through the race. Got my nutrition here, and plus there's one complication. This race is expecting to be really hot, so they've activated the hot weather kit. So I've got 2 extra flasks, one here with a filter so I can find any water source and then not have to worry about any bad things in the water. Starting in the center of Fieberbrunn, the trail immediately begins the first major climb, taking you up around 1,400 meters all the way to the 2,100 meter summit of the Waldsee Loader. The climb takes you through forest, alpine meadows and rocky sections, passing the Lauchsee before opening up into a high alpine landscape. From the top you get incredible panoramic views from the surrounding Kitzbühel Alps. But there isn't much time to admire the view, because from here the route turns into a technical descent. You drop back down through the ski piste, eventually returning towards Fieberbrunn. But by reaching the valley, it doesn't mean that the hard part is over. The second half of the course takes you into the Plätzegraben before climbing towards the Grosse Gräber. Before the race I thought the second loop would be the easier of the two, but I was wrong. However, at the top of the second climb, this section gives you high alpine trails, open ridgelines and huge views across the surrounding mountains. However, the length of the ascent proved to be the most challenging. With open air and baking sun, the second climb was unforgiving. Finally, it's time to go back down. The last descent is direct and fast, taking you back down the same descent as the first climb. At 50 kilometers, 3,250 meters of climbing and 2 summits, technical descents and some seriously beautiful alpine terrain, the route finally brings you back to where it all started, in Fieberbrunn. Wow, just gone 20 to 6. Got myself an hour to get to the start line, and checking the weather here. Looking good today, so hopefully the weather stays nice and we get a good race today. How are you feeling this morning?
I'm quite nervous, to be honest. I think my preparation hasn't been perfect, probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's see what happens. I think we just need to get to the start line.
Yeah, just get to the start line, one foot after the other, and then before you know it, we're at the finish line.
Exactly.
But at least the weather looks good.
Yeah.
Like I do in almost every race, I start too quickly as I get spurred on by the other runners, but it was okay because in not too long it was time for the first climb, and with every climb there's always a bit of a snake as we head up into the narrow path. I actually quite like this because it slows you down and it keeps you on track without burning all your energy in the first part of the race.
just made it halfway up the first climb there. So we've done, well, I've done just over 900 meters of elevation, and I think there's another 800 on this first climb, and I believe we're going up there. At the top of the first climb, so that's 1,450 meters, so almost half of the total elevation profile, and we've done 11 kilometers. So yeah, looks like the second kind of 4/5 of this race should be a bit easier. It was pretty crazy going up, quite steep. The path was quite technical, but all good because we're rewarded with this view. I'm almost down the bottom of the climb, approaching 20 kilometers distance. It's been nice because downhill it's been pretty much all ski piste. It's a nice and flat graded, not too many steps or anything, so you can kind of get a bit of movement on, and it's not too heavy on the knees, which is good. Enjoying it so far, getting ready to start into the second half. Alright, so that's the first lap completed. Now I'm starting the second major climb. So that was 23 k's and 1,500 meters of elevation. Now it looks like I've got 27 k's with a little bit less elevation, so it won't be as steep, but it's a little bit longer. So yeah, let's go for the second round. Right, that's 25 Ks, so we're just hitting mid of the race. It's I said before, really starting to heat up, but all good. Got the sun hat out. The second climb, it's starting a bit more open. We're not in the forest, and it's the bigger loop. So we did a small loop first, and now we're doing a bigger loop to follow. So yeah, excited to get properly climbing, because now it's just kind of this dirt farm road, but I'm sure we're going to get some good elevation in soon. Alright, that was potentially the hardest part of the race. Up the second climb, I thought it would be easier because on the elevation map it looked kind of not as steep, but it was baking hot in the sun. We've kind of been in this farm road, paddock sort of situation, so just direct sun on you. I've sweated so much. I'm trying to drink water and eat salt tablets just to kind of recapture all the sweat that's gone out. But according to my watch, there's about 400 meters of elevation left with about, I don't know, 18 kilometers. So I'm hoping it's going to be 8 of up, 10 of down, and then onto the finish line. You know, I was genuinely just thinking, oh damn, I'm out of water and it's so hot. I managed to get through 1.5 liters of water since the last aid station. So that was about 6 kilometers, but that took me, I think, over an hour. But I've just seen a miracle. Next aid station is right here. So lucky for me, it came just in time. Can refuel, get ready to finish this race. Man, I'll say it again, that aid station came right at the right time. I was feeling a bit low, no water, kind of needed something to eat. Also had little rocks in my shoes, and because that last stretch was a bit technical, there's no really place to stop. So now I'm full, had 2 cups of water, filled my flasks, ate a whole banana, some oranges, some gummies, 2 flasks ready to go, and I've been told it's 8 kilometers to the next one, which will also mean that I would have done all of the elevation by the time I get to the next aid station. So that's something to look forward to. This is one of the best feelings in a race, when the elevation profile has less than 50 remaining and you've got 10 kilometers to go, then you know it's all downhill from here. Need to focus. I had 1 or 2 slips before and my knee's playing up a little bit, and one of these slips could be a day ender, so yeah, should be careful going down. I'm really happy that there's no more climbs, which at least is a small success. I spent the last few minutes thinking, wow, this looks so similar to the first loop. All of the ski field kind of looks the same. And then I looked at the map on my watch and realized it is exactly the same. So all the way back down to the city, to the finish line, is the path that I'm already done. And if I can remember back all those hours ago, I was actually quite enjoying running down because that's like a nice firm ski piste. But still got 10 kilometers to go. So yeah, I need to get to the finish line.
Over the last few kilometers I didn't film too much as I was pretty focused on finishing the race. As we descended back down towards Fieberbrunn, I was happy that the final part of the route was all downhill and I knew exactly what the path would hold as we already completed this descent in the first lap. In total I finished in 8 hours and 50 minutes, having completed the 49-kilometer course with just over 3,000 meters of elevation. This was a great race and I would highly recommend to anyone that's thinking about joining in this race next time. Thanks for watching and see you on the next trail.